This isn't good news for Dr. Flip-Flop Fauci. A majority of Americans now believe that COVID-19 originated in that lab, according to a new Trafalgar Group Convention of States poll. And today over at MSDNC, Fauci got really pissed off, very defensive, even indignant, tried to claim any criticism of him is a criticism of science. No, just the opposite. Take a look.
It's very dangerous, Chuck, because a lot of what you're seeing as attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science. Because all of the things that I have spoken about consistently from the very beginning have been fundamentally based on science. Sometimes those things were inconvenient truths for people, and there was pushback against me. So if you are trying to, get at me as a public health official and a scientist, you're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science.
Here with more Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Senator, on January 31st, 2020, Dr. Fauci got an email suggesting that there's evidence that the genome was tampered with in a laboratory that altered this virus. And then there were a lot of CYA emails. Uh-oh, did we fund this? Was it gain of function research? I think they're very damning.
Sean, every time I'm asked about Dr. Fauci, I say the same thing. I know Dr. Fauci. I like Dr. Fauci. I respect Dr. Fauci. But Dr. Fauci needs to cut the crap. This isn't about Dr. Fauci. It's not about his feelings. And I'm sorry if his feelings were hurt. Maybe he ought to buy an emotional support pony. But we're not debating dance moves on TikTok here. We're talking about millions of human lives. And here's what we know. Dr. Fauci gave a lot of U.S. taxpayer money to the Wuhan lab for Chinese scientists to research bat coronaviruses. Neither Dr. Fauci nor any of his people can guarantee us that the Chinese scientists didn't use that money to do gain-of-function research and turn a normal virus into a supercharged virus. They weren't monitored. Dr. Fauci and his people didn't monitor the lab. And it's not like it hasn't happened before. Since 1992, there have been 11 different experiments, widely reported, in which scientists throughout the world and labs throughout the world have taken a normal virus and turned it into a supercharged pathogen. Number two, the biosecurity, and this is in terms of the lab leak, the biosecurity at the Wuhan lab sucked. We know that from American intelligence. And China has a history of lab leaks, 1977, 2004, 2019. Also, since day one, Dr. Fauci and his expert friends have told us, look, the virus occurred naturally. It jumped from a bat through an intermediate host into human beings. Well, it's been a year. Where's the proof? Where's the smoking bat? Do you really think if China could prove that this virus occurred naturally in nature, that it would withhold that evidence? No, it would be screaming it from the rooftop to get the world off its back. And final point, there was an article this weekend in the Wall Street Journal by Berkeley professor Dr. Stephen Quay, and no one's talking about it. But Dr. Quay said, look, if you take the fingerprint from the genome change that turned the bat coronavirus into the supercharged COVID-19 virus and compare that fingerprint to the fingerprints of the 11 supercharged viruses that I just talked about that have been created since 1992, it's the same fingerprint. Maybe coincidence, but Dr. Fauci needs to address it, and he needs to hit these things head on. Otherwise, it's going to undermine public health, people's confidence in public health, and the American people are going to end up trusting Dr. Pepper more than Dr. Fauci.
I think that's going to be the line of the night. I don't think you can top it, but I agree with you. And how sad is it that we now learned from the Cleveland Clinic, no point vaccinating those who've had COVID-19, that if you had the virus, You don't get any additional benefit from vaccination. And again, he didn't listen to that science. But, Senator, you're doing a great job for the people of Louisiana. We wish you the best in your reelection. Your race is very important to the U.S. Senate. Thank you for being with us.